and Chantel. We help Amish singles find godly spouses, create and develop epic marriages, and then, yeah, develop their legacy that is founded in freedom, faith, and of all, love. Love is the key. And that's what we've done in our lives. So earlier today, I was sharing earlier on our call this morning with the men's edition. This is live with Chantel, my bride. We're headed to the office now. So got a little bit of time on the drive to utilize. Thought we would share with you and get Chantel's perspective of the story this morning. So those of you that are joining us live, thanks for joining us. We love seeing the comments and your interactions. So let us know you're here, first of all. And then also comment, that you were here this morning for the 5 a.m. call, because I did share in depth the story of the last 5 years and leading up to that 5 years, the 10 years before that. And even told a little bit of the story about Brandy and Rogelio, how they're coming in January this month on the 22nd. So I'm super grateful to have my bride here. And I want to hear your, excuse me, almost over this cold, my voice is coming back. But I wanted to hear Chantel's perspective on this story on 2020, and even share how when we were leaving California, we were so hopeful. We knew that we knew. You had, even leading up to coming to Georgia, how we ended up in Georgia. It's fun to have you tell that story. So take it away, my love.
Well,
She always knows. Our wives always know.
so anyway, Thank you for letting me know. Start fresh.
You gotta start fresh.
Uh,
Sorry about that. Mic wasn't working. Wasn't turned on.
Can you hear me now?
We're gaining some skills here on the fly.
Can you hear me now? Put in the comments if you can hear me now. Sorry about that. Okay, so start fresh. Back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Summarize.
So,
you knew it was meant to come to Georgia.
We knew we were meant to come to Georgia.
Prior to me knowing.
Yeah, 2 years. 2 years prior to Carlos deciding that it was a good time to move to Georgia. And so, we packed everything up and we were having a garage sale. And, I had signs made and I really felt like just this excitement for this adventure. The signs I made said, making dreams come true, right? They weren't just your regular garage sale signs. And it was so funny because I had so many people come like, what dreams are you guys making come true? And they're like, we're going for land. Like you know what I mean? It just became this like, beautiful dream that we were embarking on. We were actually taking the action to make it come true. We didn't have a home. We didn't have anything set in place. We literally went and stayed with friends while we were looking for a home, really thinking that our handyman business, our construction business in California was going to continue on as normal. And so that was it. It was January. By the end of January, February, we were in Georgia, staying with friends, looking for a home. And
shout out to Kim and Larry LaPlante.
Yes.
Love you guys. I talked about them earlier too.
Shout out to Kim and Larry LaPlante who let us stay with them. And then, eventually we found a place to rent until we bought the property. But so that whole season was wild because guess what happened? COVID hit, right? When we were living with Larry and Kim and COVID hit, well, everything in California shut down. We were no longer able to go into homes, which was our business. And so we had to shift, we had to pivot altogether. We had already started holding retreats and working with people on marriages and relationships in that sense, but that was kind of a side gig. Like that was something that we wanted to pick up and do more of for sure. But at that point, that was all we had. And so we actually did some virtual retreats. And then, as we started getting established here in Georgia, we developed online content, right? Utilizing everything that we were teaching in our retreats and yes.
So we're limited on time. So I want to get to the one part too that's a key component. And that is when we actually looked at our ranch. It's one of the first places we took a tour of. And I remember I was overwhelmed. And I did some video of this too, because it was my dream to always have a creek, a home that I owned. And when we were walking through, you're like, I think this is the one. Tell about that, what you were feeling and because again, you were so amazing how you backed off. But tell that whole scenario, because it's just like you waited for me for 2 years to realize, and it was the same about this house too. So kind of share that. That's the wisdom of you as an amazing wife, but yet you had hope. You knew.
I didn't realize that I was backing off. Actually, I mean, I'm glad that you felt that.
This, even though you knew, we were at the house, and I was literally. It's funny. I was in my office. Yeah.
I mean, it was. I felt it in my spirit. Really, I'm super in tune with the land too. And we had looked at properties that I had felt like so much oppression on, and I even got to the point where I was throwing up.
Yeah,
feeling the spirit of oppression there. No. And so when we walked our land, our current land, when we walked onto the property, I felt it home, right? And so, when you know that, and I think this is, where I get into the wisdom and discernment intrinsic level. And I knew it. I just knew it. And the honest to God's truth is that I believed in my husband enough to to know that he would make it happen some way, somehow, and that together, our dream of owning this property, owning this land, and creating what we wanted was just another target that we were working towards. We had learned the skills. We had developed ourselves enough into that point where we knew that we were able to create what we want.
So good. Yes. And so then we looked at other homes and everything and came back to this house and made it work. It was very creative.
Well, yeah, and we actually had to go back to California to visit to take care of Mom. She had another back surgery, and while we were there is when we actually created the creative deal with the previous owners of the home and the property, and got the yes. So it was really powerful. Being in California with everything shut down, it was kind of the apocalypse. Like, it was so weird.
Yeah, it was. That's what I mean. That was like even going back to California to see Mom and Dad and helping Mom, supporting Mom. And yes, closing the deal while we were there as far as the property goes and the lease to purchase deal. Whole nother story around that. But the point is that our business had shut down by that time. We met up with some of our team that was there, and it's like, yeah, it's impossible. This is not going to go anywhere. We can't do anything with this business. We knew we couldn't resurrect it. We knew it was done. And so again, the way we were still able to make it happen is pretty phenomenal. It is very phenomenal, actually. It's a miracle. But again, God works in mysterious ways, and God is such a blessing. And that's a whole nother story behind these things and great things. But my bride, my queen, thank you for joining us. And you're amazing. And to be continued. I want to tell more of the story because, again, to get to this place where now we're at Nesbitt Repair LLC here in Morgan County in Madison, the town of Madison, super blessed. And she is leading the charge in this company. I get to kind of support her and be as a role of consulting, because I'm working on a lot of other companies as well at the same time. But she's taking the lead on this, and I love it. She's creating an awesome environment. And we'll give you a tour as soon as this place kind of gets shaped up a little bit, show you what we're creating here, and it's going to be awesome. So God bless you. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you on the next live, okay? Appreciate all the feedback. Appreciate the love and support. God bless you guys. See you later.